When a human decides your family, everything changes in ways you never imagined. For Lila, a stray dog with matted fur and wary eyes, life had always been about survival, navigating crowded streets, dodging dangers, and scavenging for scraps. She had learned to trust no one, her world limited to fleeting shadows and cold nights. But then came Jacob, a quiet man with gentle hands and a patient heart, who noticed her from across the street one rainy evening. At first, Lila kept her distance, her instincts warning her to run. Yet something in Jacob's steady gaze told her that this time might be different. Days passed and Jacob returned, offering food, a soft voice, and a safe space under his worn jacket. Slowly, Lila's walls began to crumble. The hard edges of her life softened with each kind touch and whispered promise of safety. She followed, him home hesitant but hopeful, stepping into warmth and light for the first time in years. Inside that small apartment, filled with the scent of old books and fresh bread, Lila discovered more than shelter. She found belonging. Jacob didn't see a stray. He saw a soul deserving love, and as nights turned into mornings and mornings into years, Lila's world expanded beyond hunger and fear. She became family, not just in name, but in heart and spirit. This new bond was fragile, built on patience and trust, but it was real, a quiet revolution for both of them. For Jacob, it was the unspoken promise to protect, to cherish something beyond himself. For Lila, it was the astonishing gift of acceptance, a chance to be more than a survivor but a beloved companion. When a human decides your family, they give you more than shelter or food. They give you a place in their story, a thread woven into the fabric of their life. It's a decision that changes both forever, proving that family isn't just about blood, but about choosing to care, to stay, and to love no matter what the past holds. When Jacob decided that Lila was family, the true journey began, not just for the dog but for both of them as they learned what it meant to trust and to heal. At first, Lila's wary eyes still darted nervously whenever a loud noise startled her, and her paws hesitated on unfamiliar floors. Jacob understood that love was patient and that scars, especially invisible ones, don't fade overnight. He spent hours sitting quietly by her side, letting her approach on her own terms, never forcing but always inviting. Slowly, the boundaries that once kept Lila at the edge of survival began to dissolve. She learned that hands meant comfort, not harm, that a gentle voice could soothe the deepest fears. Days turned into weeks, and the once stray dog began to revel in small joys. The warmth of a soft bed, the taste of fresh water, the soothing rhythm of a human heartbeat close by. Their bond grew quietly but powerfully, a new kind of family forged from broken pasts and hopeful futures. Jacob, too, found himself changed, his loneliness eased by Lila's presence, his heart expanding to hold a love that asked nothing but to be accepted in return. Together they navigated the world with a newfound courage. Lila began to venture beyond the safety of their apartment, exploring the neighborhood with a cautious confidence. Neighbors who once ignored or shooed her now smiled and waved, recognizing the change that care had wrought. Jacob watched with pride as Lila blossomed, no longer just a stray but a creature full of spirit and trust. Yet, this journey wasn't without challenges. Old fears sometimes surfaced. Lila flinched when sudden movements came too close, and there were nights when shadows seemed to whisper reminders of her hard life before. Jacob never turned away in those moments. Instead, he held her close, his voice a steady anchor against the ghosts of her past. In return, Lila gave him a gift that transcended words, the unwavering loyalty and love that only a rescued soul could offer. They were a family made by choice, by the quiet decision to see beyond what was broken and to nurture what could be whole. This bond taught Jacob about resilience, about the power of kindness to rewrite stories written in pain. And for Lila, it was a testament that even the loneliest hearts can find a home, a place where they belong without question or condition. When a human decides your family, it is not simply an act of charity. It is a sacred promise, one that transforms both lives, weaving them together into something stronger, softer, and infinitely more beautiful than either could have imagined alone. When Jacob fully embraced Lila as family, their lives intertwined in ways neither had anticipated, creating a shared rhythm of healing, trust, and quiet joy. Each morning began with Lila nudging Jacob awake, her tail wagging gently, a wordless reminder that she was no longer alone. The simple routines, feeding, walks in the park, quiet evenings by the window, became rituals of connection, grounding them both in a world that once felt uncertain and cold. Jacob noticed how Lila's eyes, once guarded and fearful, now sparkled with curiosity and warmth, mirroring the kindness he poured into her life. In turn, Lila sensed his presence as a source of comfort and safety, a steady anchor in an unpredictable world. Their bond deepened through small gestures, the way Jacob would pause during busy days to brush her fur, or how Lila would rest her head on his knee when he was lost in thought, offering silent companionship. Outside neighbors who had once viewed Lila with suspicion now greeted her with smiles, recognizing the transformation that love had wrought. But the most profound changes happened in quiet moments at home, when Jacob and Lila shared space without words, just the gentle exchange of presence that defines true family. Despite the peace they found together, shadows from Lila's past still lingered. Loud noises, sudden movements, and unfamiliar faces sometimes sparked flashes of fear, reminding Jacob that healing was a journey, not a destination. He met these moments with patience and compassion, never rushing or forcing, always allowing Lila the time she needed to feel safe again. Over time, those moments grew fewer, replaced by growing confidence and joy. Their story became one of resilience, a testament to the power of acceptance and the deep human-animal connection that can mend broken hearts. In choosing to make Lila family, Jacob didn't just save a stray dog. He gained a companion who taught him about unconditional love, trust, and the quiet strength found in shared healing. Together they created a home, not just a shelter, but a sanctuary where both could be whole, seen, and loved for exactly who they were. When a human decides, "You're family," it changes everything. It redefines what it means to belong, to trust, and to love beyond words or conditions. In that decision lies the power to transform loneliness into belonging, fear into safety, and survival into a life full of meaning. As seasons changed, so did the depth of Jacob and Lila's connection, evolving into a bond that went far beyond companionship. It became a true family forged through shared moments, challenges, and growth. Each day, Jacob found new reasons to be grateful for the quiet presence of Lila, whose once cautious steps now carried a confident stride. Their walks through the neighborhood grew longer, exploring paths shaded by trees and warmed by sunlight, filtering through leaves. Lila's playful spirit emerged more fully, chasing after fallen leaves or resting with her head tilted in curiosity as children waved hello. Jacob smiled often, realizing that in rescuing her, he had also found a new sense of purpose and joy. At home, the rhythms of their life brought comfort and predictability, simple routines of meals, rest, and gentle touch that soothed old wounds. Jacob's patience never wavered when Lila's past fears flickered. Instead, he met them with steady reassurance and calm presence. On evenings when storms rolled in, rattling windows and stirring shadows, Jacob would hold Lila close, whispering words of safety until her breathing slowed and the tension eased. Those moments deepened their trust, weaving invisible threads of love and security between them. Friends and neighbors began to see the transformation, not just in Lila's glossy coat or bright eyes, but in the warmth that radiated from their connection. They witnessed the power of a human's choice to embrace, protect, and love another being, regardless of history or hardship. For Jacob, the decision to make Lila family had blossomed into a daily reminder that true belonging is earned through kindness and commitment. And for Lila, it was a miracle of second chances, a life rewritten with hope, care, and unwavering devotion. Together they faced the future not as a lonely man and a stray dog, but as a family bound by love's quiet, steadfast promise. When a human decides your family, it means you are no longer defined by your past struggles or solitude. You are seen, cherished, and given the chance to thrive in the safety of belonging. In that choice lies a powerful truth. Family is not born but made, through the courage to open one's heart and the grace to nurture in others.